Every morning, I wake up at 7 a.m. My alarm rings softly, and it helps me wake up slowly without any stress. I sometimes lie in bed for a few extra minutes. During this time, I think about my day and what I need to do. I don't rush to get out of bed because I like to start my day feeling calm. Lying in bed for a little longer helps me feel more relaxed and ready to face the day ahead. After a few minutes of relaxing and thinking, I finally get out of bed. The first thing I do is stretch my arms and legs. Stretching helps me wake up my body. I raise my arms high over my head, then stretch my back and legs. This makes me feel more awake and energized. Stretching is important because it helps my body feel good after sleeping for many hours. Once I finish stretching, I head to the bathroom. When I get there, I wash my face with cold water. The cold water is refreshing and it helps me feel more awake. I splash the water on my face a few times and dry it with a towel. Then, I brush my teeth carefully. I always take my time brushing because I like to make sure my teeth are clean and fresh. This helps me feel more confident and ready to start the day. After finishing in the bathroom, I go to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. I always feel a little hungry in the morning, so I like to make a healthy and tasty meal. I open the fridge and look at what I have. Most mornings, I decide to make scrambled eggs with toast because it's simple, healthy, and filling. I grab 2 eggs, a small piece of butter, and a few slices of bread from the fridge. I also pick some fresh vegetables like tomatoes and spinach to add to my eggs for extra flavor and nutrition. First, I take the eggs and crack them into a bowl. I use a fork to whisk the eggs until they are smooth. Then I heat a small pan on the stove and put a little bit of butter in it. Once the butter melts, I pour the eggs into the pan. As the eggs cook, I gently stir them with a spatula so they don't stick to the pan. The smell of the eggs cooking fills the kitchen, and I start feeling even more hungry. While the eggs are cooking, I take 2 slices of bread and put them in the toaster. I like my toast golden brown, so I wait until it's perfectly toasted. At the same time, I pour myself a glass of orange juice. I enjoy drinking orange juice in the morning because it's sweet and refreshing. It also gives me a little energy boost that helps me feel more awake and ready for the day. When the toast pops up, I spread a thin layer of butter on each slice, letting it melt into the warm bread. By this time, the eggs are cooked and ready, so I place them on my plate. I add the sliced tomatoes and spinach on the side to make my breakfast more colorful and healthy. I like how the different colors of the food make the plate look bright and inviting. With breakfast ready, I sit down at the dining table. I like to eat slowly, enjoying each bite of my food. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day because it's peaceful and gives me time to relax. As I eat, I think about the things I need to do today. Sometimes I make a mental list of tasks, like what work projects I need to finish or any appointments I have. This helps me stay organized and prepared. While eating, I sometimes listen to soft music or a podcast. The music helps me stay calm and relaxed, while the podcast keeps me entertained and informed. I enjoy listening to different topics, like stories or interesting facts. It's a nice way to start the day while eating my breakfast. After I finish eating, I take my plate, glass, and utensils to the sink. I don't like leaving dirty dishes in the kitchen, so I wash them right away. I scrub the plate, rinse it, and then dry it with a towel. I do the same with my glass and fork. After washing the dishes, I wipe down the kitchen counter to keep everything clean and tidy. I like to leave the kitchen spotless so I don't have to worry about cleaning it later in the day. Once the kitchen is clean, I go back to my bedroom to get dressed for work. First, I check the weather on my phone to see if it will be warm or cold. This helps me decide what to wear. If it's cold outside, I pick a sweater or jacket to keep me warm. If it's warm, I choose lighter, more comfortable clothes. I also make sure my clothes are neat and match well. I want to look professional and feel confident when I leave the house. After getting dressed, I gather everything I need for the day. I check that I have my wallet, keys, phone, and any work-related items, like my laptop or important papers. I don't want to forget anything, so I double-check my bag before leaving the house. Once I have everything, I take a quick look in the mirror to make sure I look presentable and ready for work. This final check helps me feel more confident and prepared for the day ahead. Before heading out, I put on my shoes and grab my bag. I open the door and step outside. The fresh morning air feels nice, and I take a deep breath. This helps me feel awake and ready to start my day. I walk to my car, get in, and check the time to make sure I'm on schedule. I don't want to be late for work, so I always leave the house with enough time to arrive on time. As I drive to work, I notice that the roads are usually busy with other cars, but I try to stay calm and not let the traffic bother me. I turn on the radio or play an audiobook to keep myself entertained during the drive. Listening to something interesting helps the time pass more quickly and makes the drive more enjoyable. By the time I arrive at work, I feel fully awake and ready to handle whatever challenges the day may bring. Now, we will explain some of the words found in the text, providing clear and well-structured definitions to ensure a good understanding. Each word will be broken down with its meaning and an example for context. This approach will help deepen comprehension and improve your vocabulary. Let's dive into the explanations. Alarm, a device that makes a sound to wake you up at a specific time. Example, my alarm rings every morning at 7 a.m. Softly, gently, or in a quiet way. Example, the alarm rings softly. Helping me wake up without stress. Rush, to move or do something quickly, without taking your time. Example, I don't rush to get out of bed in the morning. Calm, feeling peaceful and not stressed. Example, I like to start my day feeling calm and relaxed. Stretch, to extend your muscles to become longer or looser. Example, I stretch my arms and legs to wake up my body. Energized, feeling full of energy and ready to act. Example, stretching makes me feel more awake and energized. Refreshing, making you feel cool and awake. Example, the cold water is refreshing and helps me feel more awake, confident, feeling sure of yourself and your abilities. Example, brushing my teeth helps me feel more confident and ready for the day. Healthy, good for your body, promoting good health. Example, I like to make a healthy and tasty meal for breakfast. Scrambled, a way of cooking eggs by beating them and then cooking them in a pan. Example, I make scrambled eggs with toast for breakfast. Whisk, to beat eggs or another liquid quickly to mix it. Example, I use a fork to whisk the eggs until they are smooth. Melt, to turn from solid to liquid, usually due to heat. Example, once the butter melts, I pour the eggs into the pan, toasted. Bread that has been browned by heat. Example, I wait until the bread is perfectly toasted before adding butter, golden brown, a color that food turns when it is perfectly cooked, not burnt. Example, I like my toast golden brown, refreshing, making you feel awake and revitalized. Example, drinking orange juice in the morning is sweet and refreshing, nutritional, related to the nutrients or vitamins in food that help keep you healthy. Example, I add vegetables to my eggs for extra flavor and nutrition, inviting, attractive, or welcoming. Example, the colorful plate of food looks bright and inviting. Utensils, tools used for eating or cooking, like forks, knives, and spoons. Example, after breakfast, I wash the plates and utensils, spotless, completely clean and without any dirt or stains. Example, I like to leave the kitchen spotless before I start my day, presentable, looking neat and appropriate for a particular occasion. Example, I check the mirror to make sure I look presentable before leaving. Thank you for watching, and we'll meet again in the next lesson. Remember, practice makes perfect, so feel free to repeat the material as many times as you need. Every repetition helps strengthen your skills and brings you closer to mastering the language. Keep going, stay positive, and enjoy the learning process.